Thank you guys so much for being here. And your story is just amazing. So catch me up a little bit, kind of walk through why are you here in Nashville? And yeah, what brings you here?
Well, we are here for our debt-free scream. And we made a vacation out of it since we're here.
Nice.
But yeah, we have worked for 4 years to pay off our house. And we paid off $192,362.
You guys,
4 years.
Insane. Yeah. Okay, so how long have you guys been married?
6 years this week.
6 years this week,
Yeah.
the anniversary. Okay, and you have 2 girls. I met them already.
Yeah.
So sweet. And they're like the exact same age as my girls, which is just so fun. Okay, so it's crazy that you're like 29, right? 30, and you have a paid for house. So like what even makes you get in the mindset to do this? Because a lot of people that are in debt think it's hopeless, right? They think like, oh yeah, you're just always gonna live with debt. It is what it is. And especially a mortgage. Like that is the one type of debt I don't yell at you for. So, but the fact that you paid it off this young, like what made you even want to do that? Like why not take that money and go on vacation?
You know, I'm in sales, and so my job's pretty volatile when it comes to if I miss my number, I may lose my job. So if I don't have any expenses at all, it just makes going to work easier, and I don't feel desperate in my conversations when I need that commission check. And then, you know, our relationship gets a lot stronger because we don't have anything to pay for except for the lights and food.
It's amazing. So who was like who kicked this off? Like who had the idea, let's pay off our house?
I think it was her.
Was it? It was a common goal. It really was.
Yeah.
We were both on the same page. Right when we got married, before we even had a house, we went to Financial Peace University.
Yes.
Just at our local neighborhood. Some guy put it on, so we did that.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe made us want to say, you know, when we do get a house, let's just pay it off as fast as we can. So I think it was a common goal, and it was right in the beginning of our marriage. So a lot of our marriage was just built upon that.
Yes. Okay, so I'm curious, tactically, how did you go about this? Because a lot of people are going to hear, like, okay, you paid for your house. So, like, did you write, like, just big checks randomly throughout the year? Did you have, like, a tracker and you were, like, you know, progress payments? Like, what? How tactically did you do that?
So we would sit down, how much can we do each month compared to our annual salaries? And we first started with, you know, a certain amount. And then about 6 months through it, we're like, we could probably double that. And so we doubled it. But it's on automatic draft. And it's coming out. And then 2 years went through and we were like, we could probably double that again. So we just like...
Because your income's going up during this time. So you're having more cash flow in. You're like, let's just throw it. Let's not live on it. Was it hard to make that decision?
You know, I wouldn't say it was hard because it was really motivating, especially to see the amount of interest we were paying each month, that just going down and down and down. Yes. It's like, oh, at first, you know, you're paying several $100s, maybe even $1,000.
Yep.
Even and just then, like the 15 to the 30-year difference.
Yeah, so
15-year
it was
mortgage
like, okay, if we pay, you know, if you'd get a commission check, say $10,000 commission check, we already predetermined it was going to the principal.
Wow.
And be like, wow, look how much it took down the amount of interest that you're paying every month.
Yes.
So it was really motivating. But yes, we still have been on vacation. We just did it really frugally.
So what was like the number one sacrificial move you had to make where you were like, okay, we
have one car.
Our car.
To this day.
One car.
We've had one car our whole marriage.
So how does that work?
Well, it's always worked out where, you know, when we were both working full-time, it was close to each other. So we would just commute.
Yep.
He would drop me off. I did longer shifts than him. So he'd drop me off and then pick me up. When we had kids, he would take the tracks.
Yeah, our public transit, every job I've ever had has been literally right to the front door from our house. So
is the car going to be a purchase you'll make? Will y'all do 2 cars now that the house is paid off?
We need a family car.
Yes.
Because we have a little car.
Yes.
We need a big family car.
Yes. Oh, you guys. Okay, so how does it feel? Like when you write that last check for your mortgage, which you're like in like the 0.001% of the world, right?
Yeah.
That's America that pays off their house. Like how does that feel when that last check is, or it was, you know, taken out, right? Auto draft. Like, what do you think? Like, how does that feel? What's that conversation like?
First time, I didn't even know how to do it. So I had to like research, how do you pay your house off? There's not a lot of like
Yeah,
research.
You don't just pay it. You have to like pay a fee to close your mortgage out.
Yeah.
Like we didn't know any of that.
But when we finally had the I think you have to do it through a wire. When the wire came out and we opened our phones and it was like paid in full, we were like,
Yeah, we kept like opening the app.
Like, is this real? No.
Paid in full. Okay, the next day, well, paid in full, still paid in full.
Yes.
A little surreal, but.
And what, it's been since May? So,
yeah.
So good. Because it's the opposite feeling you have when you are deep in debt, right? And a lot of people that are that feeling of living paycheck to paycheck. And if they lose their job, their whole world turns upside down. Like they don't have a plan. And so for those people that are in that position, like what would you tell them? Words of encouragement to say like, that you can do it, it is possible. What would you tell another couple, another 30-year-old couple who's sitting here and they may have credit card debt and car payments and the mortgage they can't even imagine. But what would you tell them?
Well, I think obviously Dave's plan works. The hard part is actually doing it. And then just don't buy stuff. Like, stop buying stuff. We buy too much stuff. It's like we buy a box that we live in, and then we fill the box with stuff. And then when you buy another box, it's like, why do we buy all this stuff? So
that's it. Like you said, I mean, you're just determined. You stick to it, and you have a plan, and you can execute it if you do it.
It's worth it. And it might seem like so long from now. Like, even thinking about 4 years from now, that seems like such a long time. But it just flies by. And the motivation keeps you going. It's not just 4 years from now, I'll be fine, then we'll be fine. It's no, like next month, you're gonna feel a little bit better. And the following month, you're gonna feel even better. Like it's just gonna keep snowballing and motivating you and making you feel more peace as you go. It's not an end, it's a journey.
Well said. Oh, well, congratulations. Your story is just amazing.
Count it down. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1.
We're debt-free! Yeah! Oh, that's how it works.